while you all are completing the survey, we have some ground rules so that we can hear everyone. Our ground rules are from Courageous Conversations because that's what we like to begin the process with everyone that we come in contact with. So we have 4 agreements. The first one, you must stay engaged. Second, speak your truth. We can't help and move forward if we are speaking a facade. It's okay to have this safe learning environment here. Experience discomfort. Some of the things we might say may make you feel uneasy, but it's okay because that means you're getting into a good place where you're able to accept these type of conversations. And then the 4th, expect and accept non-closure. We're not going to solve race and equity today.
Oh, man.
Yes, we're not. But we're going to start the conversation and get the wheels turning so that when you return to your respective places, you will have a little nugget where you can start beginning those conversations back home. Okay? This is our agenda, define equity, essential questions. We have 5 components of building equity. Turn and talk activity, which we'll get into very soon. Equity versus equality. We have a visualization activity and equity versus equality summative. And then we're going to wrap up. Okay? And then that will be our question and answering session. And then we will bring our session to close. Now, this is how I like to begin equity versus equality. If you would take a look at this particular cartoon, it says a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. Now, if you're an elephant, you're not going to make it. Okay? But how can we help that elephant? If you're a monkey, the monkey has the advantage. Because monkeys are used to climbing trees unless you give him a different type of tree. A penguin. So you get the point. We have a fish in a bowl, raised up on the tree stump. Some will say that the fish won, depending on how you look at it. Okay. So these are all perceptions. Now we have to figure out how we can move, because these are all students in our classes, in the school. How are we going to move each student with their disabilities, with their different makeups, with the different baggage that they come with, the different home situations? How are we going to have them pass that state exam? What are we going to do to make sure they're prepared? Because everybody is career and college readiness. What are we going to do? Or are we going to say, she can make it? We just have to work with him. Okay? So how do we choose to do that? Should we choose to do that? Okay? So this is the type of conversation. Are we willing to give up our professionalism and our soul to say to a child, I don't think you can do it? Okay? Because as parents, we wouldn't want that for our child or our grandchildren as we get older, grandnieces. Okay? All right, so the very first thing, what is educational equity? What is it? Is it making everything equal? We're meeting students where they are. Y'all can talk to me.
Balancing the playing field.
Balancing the playing field, how?
You're making sure that if you're meeting diverse needs to learn, to make sure that they don't have as many odds that, to reach the success they need compared to their counterparts. For example, if the race was an example that they gave here, that you have some people who come with everything they need to be as successful, and so to say to everybody you start at the same time, we're saying that, okay, you have all these skills and all these abilities and all this talent, you have everything you need, and I let you start at the same time as someone else, that are already putting the other bunch that doesn't have what you have at a disadvantage. In a classroom, what we look at is, I have a kid who is, let's use special ed for an example, with special ed who has a learning disability, and I make that child try to learn the same rate, not the same stuff, learn the same rate as everyone else who doesn't have that disability, and that's not being equitable, that's trying to be equal. But being equitable, saying I'm going to put the accommodations in place that this child needs to make sure that they're successful as the other persons in the room.
Okay.
So basically, he's saying it's fair is not everyone getting the same thing. Fair is what everyone gets what they need to be
Exactly.
successful.
Getting what you need.
I'm your assistant. Here to
So
help.
that is, that's where we're going. Okay? So what are the components of building equity? Because we already know when we say leveling the playing field, we think of equality. So now we have to push the envelope and say, if we're going to get equality, we have to have equity. Now, this is something I want you to think about. Equity is the process. Equality is the outcome. Okay? That's the big difference. So now, as educators, we have to go through the process so that we can gain the outcome. But what states are telling us, and the Department of Education is telling us, this is the outcome, you figure it out. This is what is mandated because the legislature says so. So as educators, we have to figure out, we have the outcome, how we're gonna move, and you all understand when you're planning with backwards design, okay? That's what this is, okay? You're trying to level the playing field for equality, but you can't do it until you have equity. Okay, so what are the components?
Okay, so when you're looking at this survey that we've given you, we're going to answer that question, the components. There are 5 components, okay? So the first one, physical integration. I'm not going to give you the answer right now. You're going to figure it out, and then we're going to help you and guide you through this process. Number 2, social, emotional engagement. Number 3, opportunity to learn. 4 is instructional excellence. And 5,
The biggie.
engaged and inspired learners. So those are the 5 components of a building that is equitable. So if you keep that if you just remember that, when you go back to your district, to your school, and you know that, okay, where do we start? Well, let's start. This is your foundation. On that form that we've asked you to fill out, we have given you those headers, so you don't have to rewrite this. We're not going to take the paper from you. We're going to write that form. But in that, we've asked you specific questions, and we want you to turn and talk about why you answered the way in which you did. And then Dr. Reed and I are going to guide you through this thought-provoking process to have an understanding of some of the questions that we asked on that survey. Are you guys ready for your ride? Yes or no?
Yes.
I don't believe you. Let's try this again. Are you all ready for your ride?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's going to be a ride, but it's going to be a great ride. So we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train coming towards you. It is your salvation. Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't be where you are if you did not want to meet students where they are, and you didn't want to be a difference maker in the lives of each and every student that you come in contact with. And you don't want to lie to your students, your staff, or your families any longer. We've been doing that. We've been doing that when we say, okay, well, this is what they told us we have to do. Okay, we can still complete the check, but we need to ask those questions. And now,
We're ready.
we're ready. Okay, we're going to
We're
get
ready to move out of the train
gotta get
station
up.
of compliance.
You gotta turn and talk, either,
You-
pairs